Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing great. I would like to welcome you all to today's Germany webinar on lifelong learning for personal and professional development. On behalf of Agile People Ops, me, Mariana Di Rosario, your host, would like to thank you all for taking out your precious time and joining us today. I would like to introduce our Germany country ambassador, Ms. Boglarka Zerinvari. She is a certified Agile People Ops framework coach. Her motto is lead the change, live the change, love the change. She believes in the core strength of people that they can make positive impact for a better and balanced future. Her mission is to partner organizations and people in transformations with coaching and empathetical, purpose oriented communication. Her international and professional experiences in business, IT, agile HR mindset, coaching, and community building drive her to bring people together and thrive for individual and common goals. I would like to hand it over to Boglarka to introduce our speaker for today's session.
Thank you very much, Mariana. And I would like to warmly welcome everyone in today's event. This event is organized from Germany, but the participants are from all over the globe. We are a wonderfully great, diverse team. And me and Subhashish are in Germany now. Our great speaker today is Subhashish Chatterjee, who has more than 17 years of experience in IT and business solutions. He has wonderful project management skills and technology skills. Just a few examples to mention. He worked hard on chatbot design in cloud computing migration, ERP system and business solution implementations. And today he is extremely engaged in digital marketing. During his project management work, he excels in people management and stakeholder management. And I am really sure that he will give us wonderful insights on our today's topic, lifelong learning and development. He is very inspirational for me because he and me knows each other for a long time. And I'm sure that we all can learn from him. I would like to invite you to answer some questions during the webinar using the chat and using an application or a web page called Menti. So please prepare yourself to open the Menti. And at the end of the event, we will have plenty of time to answer your questions or listen to your thoughts. If we cannot answer all of your questions, don't hesitate to turn to our global team, Mariana, or the Germany team, me and Subhashish, later. So, Subhashish?
First of all, Bogi, thanks a lot for the great introduction which you made, and really appreciate what you said. And I'm very close to the APF community because the core mindset, what I saw and what I follow, is very correlatable for me because it is part of the journey that human being can achieve anything, and we need to have more learning from there. And taking that into context, I would like to thank Mariana and Bogi both. We have worked a lot on this topic, and it's a very interesting topic, what we are going to discuss. And I would like to thank all of you for participating in this journey first. So without wasting any time, let's dig into the topic of today. And Mariana, I would need your help, as you know, with the next slide. First of all, a little bit on a high level on the agenda, which we are going to touch. These are all topics which we are going to touch today. And as Bogi mentioned, we would be having some Q&A session at the end, which would be allowing you to ask questions if you have any. And feel free to use the chat. Mariana, I would need your support if there is any questions at the end from the chat, which I need to take forward. Okay, without going in too much detail on the index path, let's move into the first aspect of it. Mariana, I would like to start with a Mentimeter question itself to understand the feeling of the audience. So if you can start the session with the first Mentimeter question for today. And I would request you all to participate so that we can see what is the feeling of the audience. Yeah.
So you will all receive a link in the chat box. Would request you to follow this link and answer the question.
And Mariana, we have 2 minutes, or what is the time?
Just 2 minutes. 2
Okay,
minutes is good.
perfect. Thanks a lot. Mariana, is it the poll results already coming? Let me know once the complete results are here.
Yes, so as you can see, there is one
Okay.
response. It will appear on the
Okay.
screen. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot.
And if anybody is facing any issue joining the Menti link, please let us know.
Very interesting responses, as we can see all.
Ashish, would you like to comment on these answers that
Yes,
everybody has?
exactly. This is what I wanted to highlight, that you see, there is a lot of diverse topics which we can see, and it is expected. And I was expecting that only because various people are in various stages of life. And from there, it turns that this is the most important topic to consider. For example, the health issues and the feeling you don't, or these are the things which showcases a little bit on what is the importance for them, lack of motivation and others. These are all more a psychological aspect. I would bunch them out into together. And the bad work life balance, this is an improvement part, because this user who have commented on this area already have identified that there is an improvement which he or she would like to do, and the frustrations and despairs. Thanks a lot. First of all, I would like to thank everybody for the contribution, and what can we do to have a direction in our life? This is the question we should be asking ourselves. And how could we improve? Thanks a lot, Mariana, for showcasing, and really appreciate everybody for the responses. Let's move to the topic. Why I asked this question was to understand the feeling. What are the problems we are facing at this point of time in your life, and what are the junctures there? Thanks, Mariana. Let's now dig into the direction. What could be one of the direction to ensure that we are having a way to improve our life, which is lifelong learning, according to me. In past, I have also ventured through many different ways of working, but this is an area which gives me a lot of enrichment of the life. So that is a word which I would like to take further. Mariana, one tap further, please. Let's look into the definition which I try to empower or bring depending on my life experience itself. Very important thing is it is a mindset. Lifelong learning is a mindset. It is an aspect of the life which you need to embed in your journey. And obviously there are some characteristics which emphasizes on this mindset. I would highlight the characteristics, but I just want you to ensure that these two things are in your mind, that it is a mindset of, of improving yourself, learning more, and for betterment of everybody. And it is a characteristic which defines that, okay, these skills can give you a direction towards betterment of your life. What is the eventual impact? It's the human capability of continuously building skills, and it is an aspect of our evolution. So if human being is different from other creatures, it is one of the aspects that we can adapt and learn ourselves and improve ourselves in every aspect of our life. Let's dig in a little bit on the characteristics which I wanted to coin, or which I thought that these are some of the important characteristics which could be highlighted. One tap more, Mariana, please. So you see, I have identified some of the characteristics of a human being which could be helpful for this mindset building of lifelong learning. Without going in all the terms, curiosity. Obviously, you can correlate. If you have curiosity, you would ask good quality questions, and that would emphasize that you are learning better. For any sort of learning, you need to have an open mind. Without open mind, you would never be able to take the essence why you are learning. And it takes out the stress sometimes that, okay, what am I going to achieve at the end? But eventually, if I am learning every day, I'm enriching my life, it would eventually take you to a destination which would be good eventually. The third point is adaptability. I was seeing in the Mentimeter, you were saying that it is changing. The change of life is also quite an important aspect, and we have to adapt to it because there is no other way. Change is the consistent which we can say in our life, and we need to adapt. Resilience, self-motivation. I saw that lacking self-motivation was one of the comments which we saw in the Mentimeter. So this is also an aspect how we are grooming ourselves for a self-motivated life. Because if we have targets, are we achieving them, taking them seriously and moving towards them? These are the aspects which are crucial for lifelong learning journey. It is a journey mindset, as you can understand. Embracing change without highlight, you can easily imagine that is a part and parcel of our life now. But one thing, if I want you to take as a takeaway from this slide, is coming as the next part. One additional tap, Mariana, please. So you would see some acronyms which I'm taking. In this artificial intelligence world, this this large language models are quite popular now, and I am also a student of artificial intelligence. I went through a lot of seminars and learnings and practice it out daily. So taking that into context, I was putting that, okay, double LM, that means we are having this large language models. Why not put it triple LM, which is the lifelong learning mindset for us? So the first thing, I can easily correlate large language models. Now, for me, it is lifelong learning mindset. Starts with a C, is a characteristic, and also starts with curiosity eventually. So all these terms, COARSE, are coming from the characteristics which we have defined till now. So it is one of the way I prefer to teach myself or learn myself better, so that I can correlate for a longer time and gain confidence on the topic. It is one of the examples. I was just trying to give you at the start a sneak peek of what sort of learning exercise could help. Try to correlate it with the life. Artificial intelligence, double LM. If you see the second word, you can also think about it is a course. I am taking part in a course of learning, but it is not exactly the same letters what you see in the course, but COARSE. So this is the way I would like to have confidence built in myself, that whenever needed, I would be able to achieve that. Okay, what did I learn that day? What was the outcome of this session? This is the takeaway which I would request you to have in mind, that okay, triple LM and course. If this is there, you know the slide what we talked about. Okay, let's move to the next slide, Mariana. Now comes the topic of beyond formal education, because there is a formal education aspect of learning as well. We all know we are going through our school life, college life, university life, then you are going through the MBA classes and others. So those are all part of the formal language context or the scenario, and formal education, and how lifelong learning is different. This is what we would be discussing as next. One tap from your side, Mariana, please. Let's start with a very interesting quotation from Jim Rohn, highlighting two important aspects, living and fortune. What is he talking about? Formal education will make you a living, which we always do. You can imagine, if you take your life's context, if we are completing something, eventually our target is to get a job, and that would eventually help us with the living. We want to have a proper living, then we need to have a job, and likewise, or there are different other avenues now. The simplest is getting a job for sure. And the next aspect which Jim Rohn is highlighting is self-education will make you a fortune. Because if you are self-educating yourself, that means you would be able to help others. And when you are serving others, they are going to give you the accolade. It don't need to be always that you are getting a lot of money out of it, but it is the fortune eventually of getting the blessing of others as well as a fortune. So this is the aspect which Jim Rohn highlights in his quotation to start with. One more tap from you and Mariana. Let's come back to our original topic of formal education. The key aspect is it is a traditional school setting. So basically you have a syllabus, you need to complete it out, you have to take an examination, then you are evaluated, and likewise, I don't need to highlight, go in detail on that aspect. We all have went through it, we know it very well, that this is the aspect of all the education till now what we have taken. Question would be that have we enjoyed that context of learning? Was it self-motivated learning? And likewise, there are various aspects of it to evaluate in this direction. But now comes the next point of lifelong learning. one additional tap from your end, Mariana. So let's take the most critical part of this lifelong learning aspect, which I'm putting here. It is the continuity or continuous learning is an aspect which we are talking about here. So it is not only that I have taken the examination, I have completed everything, and I'm done. It is the continuous aspect of the lifelong learning. If you are embedding into this journey, you have a target, but you are evolving every day and learning from it. What are the avenues from where you can get this sort of learning? It could be your workplace. Sometimes we don't recognize, but every day we are learning something, and that recognition need to be there that okay, this is the aspect which I gathered today. A community organizations, a community like APF, we are always getting some learning out of it. The only aspect is, are we recognizing that learning sometimes and giving a value which it deserves? That's the most important aspect which we need to improve on. And self-directed learning is that you have a target, you saw that this is a fascinating aspect of learning which you would like to proceed and embark on, and then you take step by step journey on how to achieve it. You can imagine that in this way, if you are self-motivatedly coming to a learning, there are some aspects which you need to take into consideration not to go in a wrong track. So those are the aspects which we would be discussing in the further direction. But let's come back with some benefits. If we embark on this journey, what could be some of the benefits which we can achieve in our life and in our career? One additional tap, Mariana. So let's look into some of the key benefits which could be very much advantageous for us. If you want to be a trendsetter, if you want to see how the world is moving towards and have your say on doing it, you need to be up to date with the topic. Whenever this line comes to my head, it is sometimes hitting my mind that let's take the scenario of Elon Musk. He is learning every day, and it is very much known that his learning skills are exceptional. He can take any learning at any point of time, but everybody has started with some point. There is a starting point and there is an ending point. You are improving exponentially when you start enjoying that aspect. So that is where, if you are targeting that you want to be a trend setter, you want to change the direction how the world is moving, then your own confidence would be needing more knowledge eventually. Second point of importance is the career advancement. It's sometime you are collecting education in different venues, but when it would be needed, are you ready at that point of time? That is the question. And that's why if you are preparing yourself for many years, at one point when the requirement comes, you are the best person to take that. And eventually that is your career change, which is going to help you with the progress of what is the change you are expecting in your life. Now we have in our community a lot of debates that okay, what is the direction we are moving towards as a citizen? Are we improving or we going in a different direction? Unless we know about the topic, how could we be informed and making a conclusive or informed decision? So that is also part of the learning. So you see, these are various different aspects or avenues of learning, which are eventually going to help you to embark this journey and for self-development eventually. At the start of the session, I was already highlighting this word of enrichment. Enrichment is not only for personal, but for professional as well. The more experienced, the more collectively you see a topic, holistically you see a topic, the better you get into it. And not to say, last but not the least at all, your confidence and the health benefits associated with this learning are also extreme. It is clearly proven scientifically that health benefits are associated with lifelong learning. If you learn continuously, have different varieties of learning in your head, the neurons start building. And we would be taking a few minutes on talking about this topic in detail. Mariana, next slide, please. So let's move to a little bit on the transformation of life and career aspect of this topic, how it is going to help us with the transformation journey. And as I did last time with a quotation, just to understand and feel this aspect of learning, what I'm trying to talk about. Mariana, one tap, please. So there now comes Henry Ford with a very interesting quotation that who stops learning is already old. Whether it is 20 or 80, doesn't matter. So he's directly correlating learning with age as well. That if you have stopped learning, that means you could have a different age, but eventually with your evolution, you have stopped. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. So he is refreshed, energized, and every time he is getting a different thought or improvement in mind. And the last line, which is quite important, is the greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. And how? This is the way to do it, by keeping continuously in the learning curve and getting motivated with self-learning journey. Mariana, one more tab, please. A very important aspect which I thought about and put a note on, lifelong learning is an investment in yourself. I think you would agree that if I now go to the financial sector, any investment which you do would not come out with the profits at the same time. That is a wishful thinking. And whoever is aware of this ways of working in finance already knows that you need to have patience. You need to see the holistic picture of improvement. Then only you can take a decision, okay, am I going to continue it for a long term or not? And it is exactly the same. You are investing on yourself. And the dividends or the profits are going to come. Have belief on yourself. Sometimes the effect and the results don't come on spot, but it takes time. But it would come, because this is the world of cause and effect. So you do your stuff, the effect would come. Don't worry about the effect. It would come at one point of time. This is my feeling, but yes, this is what I wanted to share with you all. Mariana, one additional tab, please. So now we would be going a little bit in how we can do it. What should be our journey on this lifelong learning experience? And there are 4 aspects which I identified. It could be a little bit customized as well. But according to me, first of all, identify yourself. That is the most important aspect. If you know yourself, it becomes easier to understand your interests and the goals. So if you start asking yourself, okay, what I enjoyed in last few years, what actually gave me a feeling of passion. If that is coming in your head, those are the all indicators which are showing that these are the topics where you can do better if you invest time. The second is exploration. Life itself is exploration. Unless you are exploring the different avenues of learning, you would never achieve that. Okay, what is good? You would make some guesses and some assumptions, but eventually that this exploration is quite important. Otherwise, you have nothing to discuss in, or nothing as a path to take forward. One aspect which I wanted to cover, yes, if your budget and need are not supporting your exploration, maybe you can take a decision that these are not the paths which I can take now. Maybe it is in future. But that is an aspect which you can take into consideration. According to me, that helps, because sometimes we are interested in doing something, but financially we are not in a state to start this. But are we going to stop because of that? No. we take in a different way, because it is a journey of our self build, how we want to evolve ourselves. Third, be consistent. Respect yourself and respect your decisions which you have taken. If you have embarked on the journey, stay on the path, be consistent, and it is quite clear it is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So eventually, if you try to speed up, you would lose energy and you would not be consistent anymore. So be patient with yourself, help yourself, and then you would be achieving better. It may take some time, that is understandable. Last but not the least, very, very important, and I have seen it in my life as well. Always be ready to embrace the failure. People learn best from the failure. This is the truth. There is no other way. We are learning in the hardest way. But the important thing is, the lighter we can make it, the better it is. But don't be afraid to fail. Because in this journey, failure is the way which is going to give you the direction that next time you would not make the same mistake and be better from yourself. I'm not talking about comparing with anybody else. You are the only comparison you should be making. How I enriched every year myself, that is the question we should be asking ourselves. Okay, let's move to the next slide, which I would be doing a little bit faster. Mariana, if we can move. Thanks a lot. And now I would be slowly but surely moving towards another poll, which should be triggered for our audience, because I have already talked a lot, and now it's the time that we are seeing a little bit of pulse. And the topic, what we are going to talk about here, is 21st century and its specificities, what it brings for us, and what are the factors you think are most impactful according to you in the 21st century context. I have coined a few and open for you to have additional comments, but let me go through what I have identified. The first thing is the fast paced technological growth, because if it is so fast that every day it is changing, you are in a fast moving bullet train, and you are always following, okay, what to do, I have done this one, no, I need to do more. So this hierarchy of situation is one of the factors which could give you a little bit of problematic situation. The second one is the changing workplace. Our workplace is maximum changing now in this century. In past it was not so, but you would agree that now every month, every week, or every day eventually, there is some new decisions taken and which could be easily impacting our life. Globalization to the power infinity now. So in any country is part of the globe or a part of the reach of internet. So no question about it. This is part of the aspect of 21st century which it has started with. And now the last part which I put in emphasis or emphasized on is the personal growth essence. Now it is a demand. If you are not improving yourself, you are not going to be competent to work on it in next few years. So it is a demanding situation that's, unless you are going through a personal growth journey, how would you be ready to do your existing job in next years? Because the demand would be more in coming time. So without going further in this topic, I would like to start the poll with all of you. So Mariana, if you can easily or start the poll itself. Thanks a lot.
Yes, so I've launched the poll right now and would request everybody to cast your vote for the question asked. I hope everybody is able to see the poll question. We will wait for a few seconds and then I will
Yes,
end the poll.
yes. Exactly. I'm I'm already following the poll and the very interesting poll direction which is going towards. So really appreciate all of you for your responses. Let's wait a little so that everybody can respond back. And in the meantime, Mariana, are we on time? Please let me know if there is any delay.
Yes, little bit overboard, but yeah.
Okay, okay. I would speed it up, no problem. I think I can make it a little bit faster. Sure.
Okay, so I'll be ending the poll right now.
Yes, exactly. Thanks a lot, Mariana. I see that there are two topics very importantly highlighted: fast-paced technological growth and demanding personal growth expectations. So I fully correlate with you on this topic that this is what is going to come, and this is part and parcel of our life now. I'm I'm fully aligned that if we want to embark on this technological growth, we need to prepare ourselves. So I fully correlate, and thanks a lot for all the responses and the proactivity in responding it out. Thanks a lot, Mariana, as well. Let's move to the next topic. As this, I have already given you an aspect of what he's talking about, and any aspect is not covered unless we are talking about a little bit of personal experience. And I, if I am talking about this topic, I have embarked on this journey earlier and faced all the issues as well in this journey. And I would like to highlight a little bit on this topic. Some points come to my mind very easily. For example, curiosity. So you would see in the left hand side, I was filled with questions that is it somehow the way, or ideally I should be getting direction. I go to a school, I start learning new thing, and then they would give me all the direction. But is it eventually going to help? All these aspects of curiosity and questions were coming to my head, and it happened around I would say 2016 to 2018 timeline for me, that I wanted to learn the best way I can learn better. So learning to learn is the question which was coming to my head, that, okay, what is the best way to improve myself? And two things I recognized very easily, that curiosity and clarity, these two C's of life, are only the respite which we can get. And these are both powerful, very powerful. If you have curiosity, you would ask the correct question, you would eventually, after a struggle, achieve the clarity. The effort which you are putting on setting a goal is very, very crucial, because without a goal, it is almost like a journey you have started, but you don't know where you are going to reach eventually. And you don't have any way to steer towards the correct direction. So you are in a boat. Let's take into consideration you are in a boat and you don't have any direction of how which you can move towards. That would be a very difficult journey. You can imagine that you would be always getting into some impacts and then only learning from it, trying to do your hands as a medium to steer towards the correct direction, but it is not the way. So that's the reason why I think I highlighted that you need to have or devote some time to clarify the goal. And this is exactly what I did. But the point is it always correct? Sometimes we need to adapt. The adaptation is the key here. Make mistakes, learn from it. Self-reflection is quite crucial, because when you make mistakes, you need to self-reflect what I learned from this mistake. We tend to take it, okay, it was a negative, I failed, or I didn't achieve this one. But yes, now collect yourself back, ask the question, what I gathered from it, and then we proceed accordingly. So that is the way I would say is the best way. And I did it. Let's be clear. We all have failures and we are learning from the failures. I also had many failures, no question about it. But those were the ones who taught me the best. That's why I can easily say that failure should not be taken away from our life. Repetition is the key. I would say we need to repeat. And coming now in the central part, there would be various ways to reach the destination. Try it out. Maybe it is not the correct direction, but if we try, then we would get a practice already, an understanding of ourselves that, okay, this direction was good. Maybe this topic is the one which I am very much interested in. I should be putting effort on it and going towards this direction. Maybe the third direction is the one which is for you. But unless you try, how would you know it? And eventually, practice, practice, and practice. Because without practicing, we are not learning eventually. That is our human brain all about. That we need to practice what we have learned. Otherwise, it would be taken over by other things which we are learning fresh. So unless you are practicing, it is not possible to correlate or keep it for lifelong or a longer duration, I would say. Last but not the least, a last point for this slide is enjoy the journey as well as the destination. Because if the destination is important, the journey need to be respected as well. Because you have groomed in that journey. So it is quite important to respect that journey and appreciate, because big moments of enjoyment are not going to come in our life. Small enjoyments need to be appreciated and recognized. Let's move to the next slide, Mariana. Now we would go a little bit on the psychological aspect, because I touched on this topic that it is proven that neurologically and psychologically, it could improve our life when we are in a path of new stuff learning. So I'm moving a little bit towards now the scientific evolutions of neurology, how it is. You are already seeing that it is a brain structure, and we are seeing creativity, ideas, learn, thinking is also part of this evolution journey. Self-confidence and self-efficacy are the aspects which are built when you are continuously practicing on this topic. You gain the confidence that you are the one who can speak in front of others. So that is a part of it. The purpose, I think this is the third time I'm highlighting goal setting. Goal setting is very important, and unless our brain feels, we have to sometimes play with our brain, because the brain train tends to take you towards a path which is the securest path of it. And if you are not tricking it, that I know which destination I'm trying to reach, it would always be against you. So neurologically, it is good idea, and psychologically as well, that we set our purpose clearly so that you have the direction and you take steps towards it without being fearful about, okay, what I'm going to achieve, nothing is done, and likewise. Better to take steps. Eventually, cognitive function of our brain is immensely improved if we are giving different flavors. So food for our body is equal to learning for our brain. This needs to be very clear. What are you giving to your brain to explore more? How critically you are thinking about the topic? These are the aspects which we need to improve on. So energy management, these are also quite important. If you don't have the proper energy to take a new stuff, then obviously with lower energy, you are not attracting that topic towards yourself. So these are aspects which we need to have a learning. Stronger social connection. So if you want to have social connection, you need to be more learning on the stuff, be confident on the topic. A little bit highlight on the neuroscience, the father of neuroscience, which is, if I'm not pronouncing it wrong, Santiago Roman Cajal, has already highlighted in 1900 that the neurons in our brain for an adult person also gets changed, and it is possible to ensure that we have new neurons built. It is not only for kids, it is also for adults, which is a confident part of evolution which we should be taking, because this learning gives us a motivation and aspiration that anybody can learn anything if they decide to do it. And in addition, in 1948, as per my study, Jerzy Konarski was the person who ensured that this term of neuroplasticity is popularized with experimentation. So this is a learning we are having today, that neuroplasticity, which was already highlighted by the father of neuroscience and already confirmed with experimentation in 1948 by the researchers, is an aspect of our life. You have it in yourself. Why not we use it to the utmost extent to improve ourselves daily? And we all know that we are not using 30% of our brain. You have a superpower which you are not using 30% as well. That is what is the aspect of neuroscience which is telling us clearly, and we can build it out. So my topic, my intention is not to go in a different direction, but to highlight that this is easy. We should not be making it as a complex topic. It is easy. It is a decision, and enjoy the path of this decision. This is what I would highlight. As I have very less time, I would be speeding up a little bit on the next slides. So, Mariana, next slide, please. So some aspect, very high level, which I use, tips and tricks from my end. There is some well-known methods like Pomodoro technique of time management, which helps me a lot. I focus entirely 30 minutes, 25 minutes on a topic, 5 minutes to reflect back what I have done. And it could be multiple sessions. This has been proven technique of success in the university students already. In 1980, it was evolved, or it was already utilized. And it is now part and parcel of learning science, and many books are talking about it. And obviously it helps. The second topic is the mind mapping. This was a topic which came from Leonardo da Vinci, who didn't coin the term mind map, but afterwards it turned out from his books that he was the person who was starting with this. Making a correlation between the topic always helps us to keep it in our understanding for longer duration. And the third thing, practice. There is a terminology called spaced repetition. Spaced repetition is the only way you can recall, and there are some tools available called SRS tools which are going to help you with the spaced repetition requirement. Whatever you learn 1 week after, fortnightly, and likewise if you set up this schedule, it would help you to learn it faster. Mariana, next slide, please. A few books which helped me a lot, I would like to highlight. As I mentioned, Leonardo da Vinci, he is an aspiration which we should be taking some learnings out of it. His life and his plethora of work which he has done, it already correlates he was doing something differently. And that's why I was very much interested to understand that what is the way Leonardo da Vinci was working, and it is mind mapping technique. So these are techniques which they were using without knowing. And we have the advantage of knowing the way now. And if we are not following, then it is our call, as you can imagine. In my work life, it is very important to have emotional intelligence understanding, because without that, I am not able to correlate or cooperate or communicate all the 3 C's with other persons who I need to communicate it better to get some results out. So emotional intelligence is one of the very interesting books which helped me in this journey, by Daniel Goleman. Nothing to say, he's already the most popular person in the psychological ground for this book, but it is my responsibility to highlight. But I would like to also highlight that it is entirely my suggested list. And I wanted to give you some takeaway. That's the reason why. It is no compulsion or nothing that these books are only going to help you out. That's not the aspect which I'm trying to highlight. The third book on grit, important point for this book is the power of passion and perseverance. Power of passion would help you to start a journey. Power of perseverance would help you to end a journey. And that is the essence of life. What you start, you need to end. If you are not ending, that journey is incomplete. And don't call it as a journey because you have not ended and taken the effort to complete it out. Atomic Habits, you all know, this is a very, very popular book. It gives us a way how we can bring good habits in our life and ensure that bad habits are taken out in a strategic manner. So these books, if you are bringing it into your life, these are very impactful. If it is only for reading, it is good read. That's it. It's nothing rocket science about it. That there are some books written for the betterment of other people. Otherwise, there was no intention to write these books, and we have to accept and recognize this aspects of reading books to improve every day. So this is the easiest way to have some learning. And my conclusion slide, with which I would like to end the session from my end. Mariana, if you can go to the next slide, please. There are two quotations which I took from Taoism, which is from China, very popular. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So recognize that step and move forward towards that journey. Eventually, without knowing as well, sometimes you would reach the destination. But recognize that every step you are taking is for the betterment of your life. And the next quote, before I end, a good traveler has no fixed plans. It is the intent on arriving. So if you have the intent, you would reach at one point. Maybe it is a different destination. Maybe it is a better destination, which you didn't plan for. So that is the important aspect which I wanted to highlight. With this, I would end my presentation and open for any questions. Mariana, please hand over to you. Any questions from anybody, please?
Yes, so if anybody from the audience has any questions, you all can unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat box.
I have a provoking question to you, Subhashish.
Yes, sure. Okay, anytime.
What if I feel, as you explained before, what if I feel already young, healthy, confident, my professional study ended, and I want to stop learning?
Yeah, very good question. Thanks a lot, Boogie, for asking this question. And it is maybe this could come to many people already. I would respond it with the context of Taoism. Let me take it likewise. In philosophy of Taoism, they call it be the water. Water, what is the significance of water? You put it in any vessel, it would take that shape. The point is, you at present know what you have achieved, but you don't know what is coming in future. And if you have stopped evolving yourself with the context that you have achieved everything, the next years, what is going to come is the period of stagnation. And that's where the world would change and you are not ready for it. So today, everything is fine, no question. But you don't know what is going to come in the future because it is very fast. It would hit you without you knowing that it is going to come, and in front of you it is saying, I am a new stuff, I am ready for you. Are you ready to take me up or not? And as you have already taken a decision that you would not embark on an open-mindedness journey to take something new, you would say no, because no, I'm already very much well versed with everything. I would not take that part. And then comes an opportunity that this skill is needed. You were capable. You got the opportunity to prepare, but you didn't took it. What would happen? you would feel demoralized at one point of time. So it is the change. Now everything fine, but in coming time, would it be fine? For that, are you prepared? Those are the aspects which we need to ensure that it is giving us a confidence. I am up to date. I am ready. I am on the position to take anything. This is the confidence which we should be having so that anything comes, I am ready to adapt. I don't know, Bogi, I responded to your question or not, but feel free if you see it other way.
Thank you. Maybe Mariana, you can read aloud questions in the chat.
Sure.
Yes, we have an audience question. How can you balance between learning new things and working?
Yes, it is a very good question. Thanks a lot for raising it. I prefer to take a project first or a task first and then map the learning accordingly. Because that gives me already the destination, what I need to achieve. For example, there is a data project which is going on in our project area, and I was not having any clue about it. What I started is, okay, what is the end goal? What is the business purpose behind it? From there, I started reverse engineering what are the skills needed for this requirement. And then I started learning that skills and started applying as well. Because without application, your skill is not going to be long term. So it is the practice. And to be precise, today also I was practicing that aspect of learning itself today morning, because this is the essence that if we are practicing it more, then we are going to get into a expert level at one point of time. So very good question, but yes, it should be task oriented or objective oriented or purpose oriented. First, understand the purpose, what is the result, and then work on it. That would be my suggestion from my side. Marina, I think we are a little bit over in the time as well. So if there are any other questions.
Do we have any further questions from the audience?
I just would like to summarize that I love the abbreviations of LLLM and the course at the beginning of your presentation.
That is the takeaway. Exactly. Thanks a lot, Boogie.
So if we don't have any further audience questions, do we move ahead?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Mariana.
Okay. So
but anyway, if there are further questions, I think Mariana and Bogi, you are going to reach out to me, and I would be ensuring to respond back. Yeah, thanks a lot, everybody.
Yes, definitely. You all can just reach out to me, or you can reach out to Boglarka, the Germany country ambassador, and we will answer your questions. So thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Subhashish for this wonderful session. It was really engaging, really knowledge sharing, and I truly loved it. And I'm sure everybody from the audience enjoyed it. So thank you so much. And then I would like to thank everybody from the audience for your time and patience and for your participation as well. And we hope that you found today's session very informative and engaging. You will all receive a feedback form link in the chat box. I would request you all to give your feedback. We have an upcoming India community webinar on real-world examples of Agile People Ops in action, which is scheduled for tomorrow, September 29th at 8:30 p.m. IST. The link to register for this event will be shared to all via email. So here comes an exciting news your way. We invite you all to join our upcoming global virtual conference, the People Ops Pulse 2023, scheduled from October 10th to 12th, 9 a.m. to noon New York time. So I invite you all to pre-register for the conference, and I will be linking I'll be sharing the link in the chat box. Hoping to meet you all during the conference. So the recording of this entire session will be shared to all the participants who have registered, and we will upload it to our Agile People Ops YouTube channel. Thank you all once again, and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.